Dear friends, today I want to talk about the Cannondale Habit Carbon 1 Women's Bike. Cannondale's Women's Habit 1 is exactly what I want. This carbon trail bike is an excellent all-rounder, with 130mm of forgiving rear suspension, ground covering 29-inch wheels, and a ride that's calm without being boring. Cannondale designed the Habit with easy service and durability in mind. In fact, the brand calls out on its website that it uses no oddball proprietary stuff, which, is worth noting, is a statement coming from a company that produces a one-sided fork, among other oddball proprietary stuff. Like most other current trail bikes, the Habit's geometry leans toward long, low, and slack. It has a 66-degree head angle, 43.5 cm chainstays, and a 66.3-degree seat tube angle on my size small. Its SRAM Eagle 12-speed drivetrain provides plenty of range to climb and descend on most trails, while the 130 rear suspension and 140mm front fork fall into the sweet spot for a lot of riders, enough squish to feel plush without being heavy or make the bike feel like it was wallowing. SRAM guide hydraulic discs. Crisp braking. Clean lines. Internally routed shifting and braking cables. Mid-range Fox travel, 140mm fork and 150mm shock. The most interesting part of the Habit's build is its proportional response suspension, essentially, Cannondale's take on giving cyclists across sizes the same ride experience. It's not a new concept, but it's the first mountain bike the company designed this way, in 2018, and has since become standard in the brand's other bikes, says Nina Baum, women's brand manager. The Habit line is divided into men's and women's models. The women's Habit isn't so different from the men's version. The bikes use the same frame, including carbon layups and tube sizes. But the women's models do come in an extra size, XS. The Habit has a fairly stable ride, which excelled on cruisy sections of trail. It carried me through swooping curves with calm predictability. And in chunky rock gardens, it sailed through the spots that just needed a bit of commitment. It wasn't the most responsive, at tricky points that required more finesse and quick adjustments. I had to put in a little more body English than I liked. But it's a simple enough trade-off, and one that depends on the kind of rider you are. I didn't register a huge increase in performance while braking, as Baum had suggested I might, but it's not something I've frequently complained of on other bikes, either. I expect a 130mm 29er to perform exceptionally well on descents. The Habit definitely does. But I'm less certain of how that bike will climb. Luckily, I was really pleased with the Habit's uphill performance. It weighs a respectable 30.9 pounds and feels planted and secure while climbing, without wandering all over the trail.